name's Cheryl, and this is Bill.
Howdy.
Welcome back to our country kitchen. And tonight Bill is going to share his recipe for southern breaded deep fried chicken strips. These are mouth-watering, and they are probably, I can honestly say they are the best fried chicken I have ever eaten. They taste like something you would get at a southern food restaurant like Cotton Patch or Black Eyed Peas, something like that. So this is a really great recipe, and Bill's going to get started.
Okay, here we go, and this is my secret recipe, which it's not going to be secret anymore, I guess. And a few years ago, I was talking to someone while they were breading chicken, getting it ready to fry, and I was thinking, well, why don't you do this and why don't you do that? So I started doing this on my own, and it really worked out very well. We have our flour here for the breading, and normally I think most people would just dip it in there and then throw it in the pan, but why not take advantage of this breading with, you know, with all your spices and that sort of thing. So we have garlic salt and chopped onions and black pepper that I'm going to put into it. And later we're going to do a batter fried chicken with my secret batter recipe, which has got a lot more ingredients in it. It's very cool too. So anyway, what you want to do is put your spices. Now, you know, this, like this pepper, depends on how spicy you want it. I personally like it very spicy. And then these chopped onions, and you can grate them up, but you know, and use fresh onion. But the problem with that on this dry batter thing, breading thing, is that the moisture will cause the flour to kind of clump, you know. So it's really better, if you're gonna grate it yourself, than to let your onions after you grate them to dry out a little bit. And you know, pinch of this, pinch of that kind of thing here. I'm not real specific on how much of whatever I put in.
And what was that?
Oh, right, this was the garlic salt, and anyway, I'm not, you know, all that picky about how much I put in there. You know, I mix it up a little bit, and you can already smell it. It really smells good. And then you can see that I really need a little more. So I'm going to add a little more pepper and a little more onion, because I want this to be in the batter, the breading, kind of evenly throughout the chicken. So, let's see how this is going to work out.
So you've pretty much covered the top twice now with spices, the top of the flour.
Right. And I'll probably go one more time, because I want it to be kind of, you know, evenly distributed and visible in there. So a little more pepper, a little more onion, and this should probably be enough, and a little more garlic. And the garlic you got to be careful with, because it comes out easier, and it's more, and you know, not as visible in the breading, because it's basically the same color as the breading. So let's give this a shot and see what happens. You just take your chicken strips and put them in there, roll them around a little bit, make sure they're pretty evenly covered, and Kind of spread things out there. We can get into all the cracks and all. You don't want it clumping on there. You just want to cover it. And it kind of makes a nice seal of sorts on the outside of the chicken while it's deep frying, which helps to hold in the moisture of the chicken itself, and the chicken turns out really tender like this. Okay, and that's basically it, aside from cleaning up, you know, your big mess that you make from doing it. And then we'll get it in the deep fryer now. Okay, we're back and we're ready to start the next phase of this. And we have a couple of different options here. We're going to go with this little electric one. But you know, if you got a heavy duty, deep pot here, pan, you can do it in this just as easily as you can do it in that. You don't have to have a deep fryer. And you know, a bottle like this of some kind of a cooking oil that you like. We have a vegetable oil here, and fill this about halfway up, and that gives room for the chicken to be totally submerged, and but not, you know, be boiling over, because it will if you get it too full. So, and you'll need some kind of a little scooper for this. You could use some tongs or whatever, but we have this handy little gadget that came with this, and this is an electric one, and it's really handy because it kind of knows what temperature to get to, and you know, and it keeps a consistent temperature once you get it rolling. Okay, so we're going to plug this in and let it start heating up, and we'll be right back to fry the chicken.
Okay, our oil is just about heated up, and I wanted to take just a minute to talk about the, I think this is a Fry Daddy, I'm not sure, the hot oil cooker. What you can do is you can leave your oil in it for a few times, and it comes with a lid, and you can store it away with the oil, but just be sure to change it frequently so that it doesn't get stagnant or bacteria in it. And I think it's probably ready for you to test, Bill, if you want to check it out and see if you're ready to go.
Sure. We've let it heat for a little over 10 minutes.
And what are you going to do there?
Oh, a good way to find out, you really want it to be there. You want it to be hot and ready to fry, because if you don't, if it's not hot enough when you put the chicken in, then the oil is going to soak into the chicken. You really don't want that, because the beauty of a deep fryer, and people really, I think, don't get this, is that a deep fryer really makes your food less greasy if it's done properly, less oily. So if it's ready to go, could you give me a fork over there? Mm-hmm. If it's ready to go, what it'll do is it'll quickly seal the outside of the chicken. It'll cook it fast if it's hot enough. And by doing that, it keeps the oil from absorbing into the chicken. And then you have, you know, a moist chicken, but not an oily chicken.
And if it wasn't hot enough, you'd probably lose your breading.
Yeah,
because it would,
you would. Definitely.
Dissolve.
So a good way to find out if it's hot enough is just take a little corner of a piece of bread and drop it in there. And if it starts sizzling and boiling, you're ready to go. Okay, so we're going to test this out, and there you have it. It's bubbling, it's hot, it's ready to go. So we're going to take that back out of there, and we're ready to put our chicken in. All right, and we'll get this in and let it cook for a few minutes. See, it's bubbling as soon as you put it in there, and that's what you want. If it's not, you put it in there too soon, and it's going to end up being oily, and you just really don't want that. Okay, so there we go. It's all in. Now we can let this cook for probably around 10 minutes or so. You keep an eye on it. Occasionally you stick this in and you kind of lift it out to see how it's coming along. After 5 minutes or so, see where you're at with it. Okay, so we're going to let this cook and we'll be right back when it's ready to go.
Okay, we're going to check on the chicken. At this point it's been probably about 4 minutes, and it's starting to get a nice golden color. It's not done yet, but it's getting there. It's really close. And so we're going to let it cook just a few minutes longer, and chicken should be ready. Okay, we're going to check this chicken again. It's been about 7 minutes, and it's starting to get a nice overall texture. And that's one of the benefits of using the deep fryer versus frying the chicken in a pan. Sometimes you can't get that all around. You get some parts of it don't get fried evenly. That's the word I'm looking for. So we want it to get even, and since it's floating in the oil, it's going to be able to do that really nice. So it's not quite done yet, but it's almost done.
Okay, so we're back, and it's looking pretty good. And remember, I've said before that you can use tongs if you don't have one of these, and you're just using a pan. But we're going to consider this done, and you need to have your plate ready to with paper towel or whatever to let it sit on for a bit and absorb some of that oil that's on the surface. Be very careful because this is seriously hot. And after it sets a bit, as it's cooling, it'll actually get more golden looking. Okay. So I'm going to cut into one of these and just see how it's looking on the inside. Very tender. Looks great. And not
Just out of your way.
Just look at a little taste here and see how it is. Well, just tear off a little piece. No, it just falls apart. Hot, very hot. Okay, give this a shot, see what it tastes like.
Here, blow on it.
Hot, hot, hot. Great, excellent. Okay.
Normally we have fried potatoes and gravy with this sometimes, but I've got some other things prepared this evening, and I'm going to just bring those in. Okay, so Bill's tested our chicken, and according to him it is delicious, and we're looking forward to that. I had some potato salad that I made earlier, as well as a macaroni salad, and we're going to have hot buttered biscuits with that. Like I said, you can choose your own sides, but these are some suggestions. And I'll actually do an episode in the future on southern potato salad. So, Bill, you ready to eat?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for stopping in our country kitchen, and we'll see you next time.